Hello everyone. Today we're going to talk about modal verbs. If you are using the Interchange series, 4th or 5th edition, this is Unit 5, page 33, Exercise 7. This is Tanisha. She's 26 years old and she's from Los Angeles, California. Last week, she asked on her Instagram stories about the things to consider when traveling to Dominican Republic. It's her first time traveling here. Immediately, friends and followers who have visited the country started replying to her. This is where modal verbs come in. She received messages about the things she needed by law and the things she had the possibility of doing for leisure. We will see them as modals of necessity and modals of suggestion. It's important to remember that after modal verbs, it's necessary to use bare infinitive. We don't have other options. First, we have modal verbs of necessity, which are connected to our responsibilities. When we talk about our responsibilities by law or general rule, we use must. Let's repeat this pronunciation. Must. As a law, Tanisha must have a valid passport, or she can't board the departure plane in the United States. She doesn't have any other options. She must have a valid passport. Another one is that she needs to book a hotel room to be allowed to enter the country. In reality, she has other options, so we will use need to. Need to will be used based on the subject, so we will say I need to, you need to, she needs to, we need to, they need to. As her full responsibility, she has to be early at the airport in Los Angeles. Here, because it's her responsibility, we are going to use have to or has to, also based on the subject. I have to, you have to, she has to, he has to, we have to, they have to. This is not mandatory for her, but she could potentially miss her flight if she's not early at the airport. If she does, again, it's her responsibility, not the airport's. So let's say that everything goes perfectly for her, and Tanisha arrives at the airport in Dominican Republic. Now she's going to do things for fun. This is when we use modals of suggestion. The way I see it, with modals of suggestion, we have 3 levels. The basic level, or the base of the pyramid, is the first idea I have. In the middle, we have the best idea I have. And at the top of the pyramid, we have the best idea to avoid negative consequences. At the base, we have the first idea I have. Here, we are going to use should. Let's repeat. Should. After should, we use bare infinitive, of course. Examples. You should go to the beach, Tanisha. You should try the local cuisine. You should bring loose clothing. Why do we use should, and why is this at the base of the pyramid? Because when you think about traveling abroad, these are the first things that come to mind. This is why this is basic. In the middle, we have the best idea I have. These are going to be the best ideas because they are practical. In this level, we are going to use ought to. Let's repeat. Ought to. Just like should, after ought to, we use bare infinitive. Let's not forget that. Example. You ought to carry a copy of your passport with you and the local currency. In our case, Dominican peso. Also, Tanisha ought to get an SPF 50 sunblock because we live in a tropical country where sun hits us. At the top of the pyramid, we have the best idea to avoid negative consequences, which is had better. Let's repeat, had better. As a reduction, we can put an apostrophe and then the D, and better. For example, you'd better avoid drinking tap water. Why is this the best idea that she doesn't drink tap water? Well, because in the Dominican Republic, tap water is not filtered and it's not for human consumption. Also, you'd better befriend the locals. Why should she befriend the locals? Because locals keep you safe. They take care of you, and they make sure you have the most authentic experience when visiting. So, in all of these cases, we are going to use had the better. Now we're going to go with the negatives, which are the lack of necessity. Lack means no, so lack of necessity means not necessary. First, we have the semi-modal verb don't or doesn't have to. As it's indicated, you are going to use it accordingly with the subject. So, I don't have to, you don't have to, she doesn't have to, he doesn't have to, we don't have to, you don't have to. As an example, we could see that Tanisha doesn't have to pay tips at restaurants, as they are included in the invoice, but it's customary to do so. Also, you don't have to worry about cooking since there are many diners and restaurants open 24/7. So that's good news for Tanisha. Also, to continue with lack of necessity, we have don't or doesn't need to. We are going to use it just as before. We are going to apply the auxiliary verb do, a negative based on the subject. Examples. Tanisha doesn't need to pack winter clothing since the weather is tropical. You don't need to travel with toiletries nor sunblock, Tanisha. Many local stores sell quality goods at affordable prices. Tanisha doesn't need to make Finally, we have the things that are not suggested to do. This will come by the reduction of should and not. Shouldn't. Let's repeat. Shouldn't. Tanisha shouldn't stay out late at night unless she has someone to drive her around and or a nearby place to sleep at night. We shouldn't be afraid of eating from street stalls and vendors. Locals do it all the time. I'm sure Tanisha had a blast. Could you think of any other suggestions for her? Maybe she will use them on her next trip. Try creating some for her. Thank you for watching.